Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's broadcast of Roseburg High Sports here on The Score. Today we've got a doubleheader for you as the Roseburg girls and boys will take on the South Eugene Axe in a Southwest Conference matchup. Here at home, it's the first home conference games of the season for both the Roseburg boys and girls, and both teams looking to try and get that first conference win of the year. Roseburg coming off of losses against the Sheldon Irish on Saturday last week. Both teams have been off for a week, so working on perfecting things as they get ready to take on the Axe here today. First up will be our girls matchup as the Roseburg girls host the South Eugene Axe. South Eugene coming in 1-1 on the year in conference play, 3-10 on the season overall. Last night, South Eugene taking on Springfield in an endowment game, falling in that matchup 45-29. Should be a nice afternoon of basketball for us coming up here on The Score, and thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in and joining us here today. Want to remind everybody that Roseburg High Sports also streaming with video online at 541radio.com. You can tune in and watch the broadcast of today's basketball game, streaming live there, or you can check out our YouTube channel, 1490 The Score on YouTube. You can watch the game streaming live there, either watch them live or go back and watch the archives as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to follow Roseburg High Sports throughout the school year. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we get a chance to catch up with head coach Chad Smith to talk about some Roseburg girls basketball as they get ready to take on the South Eugene Axe. It's high school hoops for you here on this Saturday afternoon from Roseburg High School on 541radio.com and on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Get ready to satisfy your dessert cravings with Mountain Mike's new mini churros. These delicious bite-sized churros are the perfect dessert to pair with your favorite Mountain Mike's pizza, made with only the freshest and finest ingredients, dough made fresh daily with 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese, and toppings to the edge. For limited time only, get 16 mini churros for the whole family for only $4.99. Don't wait. Order yours today for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
Back with more of our pregame here on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM, with streaming video online at 541radio.com. Roseburg getting ready to host South Eugene here today, once again on those Saturday doubleheaders with the girls and then followed by the boys here in conference play. We get a chance to see the Axe here at home, and joining us is head coach Chad Smith here with the Roseburg girls team. Coach, you guys are looking at a game here at home, coming off of that game against Sheldon. We've talked about it. We've seen moments of improvement from these teams, and we were just talking about which team is going to show up. Is there a way that you feel like you can tap into the one side versus the other side for a team? Is there a pregame speech, a kind of mindset you can get these girls into to get them out there and playing confident and strong?
Yeah, we talk about competing. Every time out, you have an opportunity to compete, and those moments are fleeting. You only have so many in your 4-year career, and you don't want to waste one. So we've really tried to focus this week on, hey, use every opportunity you have to get a little bit better, and then go out and compete, have a little bit of fun.
You know, I wanted to bring up one of your players, and I mean, she's obviously been your leading scorer and is a gal out there that is doing a nice job as a junior, being a leader for you. I got a chance to talk with Amy Carpenter earlier this week for a program we do here on the radio, and I was blown away with kind of the maturity that I've seen out of her as a junior. Obviously, we've seen the basketball talent that she's been able to put together out there on the floor for you. You know, what does she bring to this team as a leader, as a junior, as somebody that's been on the varsity level since she was a freshman, gotten a chance to be at that level? What does she bring for you as a leader out there?
Work ethic. It's plain and simple. Her parents have done a great job raising her. She's one of the hardest working kids I've ever been around in my 24 years here at Roseburg High School. And it's the work ethic. She shows up every day, she punches the time card, and she goes to work and tries to get better. And there's no quit in her. She just continues to play. And she is one that really does embrace that idea. I only have so many moments of this, and I want to enjoy every one of them.
You know, she talked to us about just how, you know, obviously it's been tough, not a lot of wins, and you know, talking with football in the fall, they went through a few seasons, not a lot of wins. They wanted to get more, and that winning makes it easier, makes it more fun, and makes it enjoyable. You guys have struggled through that a little bit, but she talked a lot about being able to, you know, try and keep your heads up and continue to try and find ways to have fun and be able to make the most of it. You know, you seeing that this team is continuing to find those moments that they, you know, continue to battle and continue to keep their heads up and keep trying?
Yeah, absolutely. Every day there's little things that the kids do that you kind of, wow, that was, you know, it was an epiphany for them, but it was for us as coaches. It's like, we've seen this. It's there. There's some ability there. It's just, you know, our basketball IQ, we don't have a super high IQ basketball-wise, and the girls are still learning the game. It's hard to believe that you've got a group of girls that, as the seniors and juniors, are still trying to learn things, but that's kind of the position we're in, trying to rebuild this program, and they're doing a great job with it.
Tonight, you guys, this afternoon, you guys have South Eugene, a team that comes in record-wise. They look like, you know, you might have a competitive game out there today. What do you think about this team from South Eugene, and what do you think are going to be some of the keys to the game for Roseburg?
I think, you know, it should be a very competitive game, I'm hoping, obviously, but, you know, I think the big thing with them is their size. They've got some good size. They've got, I think, 3 girls that are over that 6-foot mark, which is always an advantage to have. So, we're going to have to be solid on the glass. Amy going to have to kind of dominate. Chelsea's going to have to be good on the glass. Emily Morello going to have to do a good job on the glass and running our point and running the whole show for us. And I thought Emily played pretty well in the last game up at Sheldon as far as that goes, what we asked her to do of her. That was her best scoring night for us. So she's got a little bit of confidence, I think, coming into tonight. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.
And that is head coach Chad Smith joining us here on the pregame show as we count down to tip-off between Roseburg and South Eugene. Joey Kieran here with you. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on this Saturday afternoon for high school hoops here on The Score. A programming note coming up later tonight, we'll have college hoops. It'll be Oregon State and Oregon, the men's basketball teams, meeting in their annual rivalry clash. The first of 2, I believe. Trying to remember if they already met once this year. I don't have that off the top of my head. But you've got the rivalry basketball matchup coming up this afternoon. Actually, this evening they tip off late at 7 o'clock tonight. It'll be a 6:30 pregame. We'll have that for you coming up here on The Score, so stay tuned for that. As we count down towards tip-off, I want to say thanks to many of our sponsors that help out bringing high school hoops to your radio airwaves. I want to say thanks to Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County. Also, DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop. Good Vibration Solutions for home theater and automotive audio. You can feel it at Good Vibes. Just some of the sponsors that help make this possible. And as always, we like to ask that if you get the opportunity to help support the sponsors that help support athletics here on the radio, please do. Without their support and their financial investments into high school hoops, we wouldn't have the chance to get out here and do as much as we do. We count down to tip-off for South Eugene. They're coming in after a 45-29 loss against Springfield last night. That was an endowment game for the Axe, playing at Springfield against the Millers. Prior to that, South Eugene had played against South Medford, suffering their first loss in conference play, losing 75-34. That was a week ago today that they played that matchup against the Panthers, one of the top teams in the state in the 6A classification. So the South Eugene team comes in at 1-1 in conference play, 3-10 overall, averaging 41.8 points a game, 56.2 points allowed per game so far for Tosh O'Brien and the South Eugene Axe. On the other side, head coach Chad Smith and this Roseburg team, they're coming in. Unfortunately, have lost 10 straight. They played well to start out the ball game against Sheldon on Saturday, but then things kind of got away from them. Scored just 3 points in the second half, but we did see a nice performance out of Emily Morello. Head coach Chad Smith mentioning that in our pregame interview, that he's hopeful that she'll come in with a lot of confidence after scoring 8 points for Roseburg in that game. It was Morello and Carpenter that led the way for Roseburg against Sheldon. Amy Carpenter scored 10 points to lead the way there. Amy, the leading scorer on this Roseburg team on the varsity level. Roseburg losing 56-18 in that matchup against the Irish. Roseburg will try to get a conference victory here today. They come in averaging 25 points scored per game, 46.1 points allowed per game this season for the Roseburg girls. So that is a look at the matchups with these two teams that they are coming off of in their last games in conference play. The JV team wrapping up a victory just moments ago, 40-24. The final score in that one as the Roseburg girls get a win before the varsity matchup tips off here tonight. And congratulations to them on a well-fought game that went back and forth a little bit. They'd take some leads. Then South Eugene would chip their way back into the game, but the Roseburg girls finishing strong for that 40-24 victory. Looks like we're just about ready to go for tip-off here. We'll take a 2-minute break for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll take a look at your starting lineups as we get ready to go. It is Roseburg and South Eugene squaring off girls basketball. First game of our doubleheader in Southwest Conference play here today. We'll have more for you coming up after this break on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
We are Douglas County Farmers Co-op, but we're not just for farmers. We serve all residents of Douglas County because we are Douglas County. Stop by today for everything from a tank of gas to a bite to eat anytime you're hungry. Pick up something for yourself, your home, and those you care for. Celebrating 100 years of service, Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Good people, good products, and good advice.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter,
a college student,
a mother,
and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready
for every storm
and disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors,
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
As a doctor, I kept myself safe from COVID by following all the proper protocols. Then I visited my family, and we all got COVID. I debated getting the vaccine since I gained the COVID antibodies. I changed my mind because I learned the antibodies may not offer full protection. But getting the vaccine after COVID can help prevent you from getting sick again. It also lowers your risk of getting someone else sick. So whether you've already had COVID or you're still unvaccinated, please get the vaccine.
At another guard, a junior, number 22.
And we welcome you back here to Robertson Memorial Gymnasium as we get ready for tip-off of the Roseburg girls varsity matchup. The South Eugene Axe getting announced down on the floor by our public address announcer, Tom Nelson. Let's go ahead and take a look at starting lineups for tonight's matchup. For the visiting South Eugene Axe, led by Coach Tash O'Brien. 3-10 on the season, 1-1 in conference play. Your starting five will be Sophia Magert, who is a senior guard leading the way out there. Aaliyah Harris, another guard, a senior for South Eugene, along with a sophomore at a post position, Rowan Davis. Cara Belinky-Boyd, a junior guard, will get a start, and rounding out the starting five will be the sophomore Abby Kuiper, a post player for
A senior, number 11.
The South Eugene Axe. On the other side for the Roseburg girls, head coach Chad Smith in his second year has the team to a 1-10 record, looking to snap that slide. His starting five will be Emily Morello, the sophomore guard, along with a junior post, Amy Carpenter, leading scorer for this Roseburg team. Jocelyn Montefiore, a senior, starts, along with Emma Murphy, a junior. And then rounding out the starting five, another senior, it is Chelsea Miller. That is your starting five for tonight's matchup between Roseburg and South Eugene. Getting ready to go with the tip-off in the middle. It'll be Amy Carpenter. And she will be jumping, I believe, against Abby Kuiper in the middle. That one tipped up, and it is won by the Axe. They'll be moving left to right on your radio dial as we get things underway. A quick three from the top will roll around and fall through. Opening three-pointer. That goes through for Meagert. And it's a 3-0 lead for South Eugene to start out the ball game. Opening 20 seconds of things here. Roseburg in the white here at home, moving right to left on your radio dial. On the left wing, Morello feeds it underneath to Miller. She gets right underneath the basket, and Chelsea Miller will get a quick two for Roseburg to get the Indians on the board here early in this one. 3-2 our score, opening 30 seconds of the ball game. Bringing the ball up across the timeline will be Meagert walking it across. In the road blacks with the purple numbers outlined in white on the front and the back for South Eugene. Black tops, black shorts. Home white with the orange numbers front and back for Roseburg, outlined in the thin black stripe. Driving baseline, and Meagert is going to get the runner from the baseline. Good for another bucket for her. She's got a quick 5 to start out the ball game. Back to a 3-point lead for the Axe. Out at the top with it, Morello dribbles once left side, gets it to Miller here on the near side. Miller with the ball over her head, and a foul away from the basketball on the backside, setting a screen. I think this goes against Amy Carpenter. And if Carpenter's picking up fouls early on for Roseburg, that will not be a good thing. Need her out there as much as possible. It is the first foul against Amy Carpenter, first team foul against Roseburg. Pass to the right side, Meagert has all 5 points for South Eugene here early on. Pass out to the top with it. Harris driving in, reverted back out at the free throw line to the right wing to Belinky Boyd into the corner. Harris back out to the top. She'll dribble to the left side. Gets it into the hands of Belinky Boyd looking into the corner. They pass it down to Kuiper. Back out to the top. This 2-3 zone from Roseburg, closing off the lanes. Now Meagert's going to drive the scoop shot off the back iron. Rebound pulled down by Murphy. No good there for Meagert, who's taken all 3 shots for South Eugene so far. 1 minute away here in the ball game. Left side, Murphy into the corner to Morello. Looks for the cutter. Gets it to Montefiore. Jocelyn with the right hand from the left side. Montefiore will put it through, and Roseburg's back within 1. 5-4.
Montefiore.
Excuse me, hit the wrong button there for those watching online. Then not a timeout by Roseburg. 2 points for Montefiore. Jocelyn with 2 as they back up on defense. Roseburg, cutter into the middle. South Eugene finds the way to break the zone, but couldn't finish underneath for Kuiper on the rebound. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with South Eugene on the scramble for the basketball. The Axe will inbound from their own baseline. 5:33 to go here in the first quarter. Inbound goes right into the left blocks for Kuiper. Turnaround jump shot, no good. Rebound pulled in by Davis. Her shot, no good. Couple of tries for the post for South Eugene, and the Axe can't score. Leading 5-4, up by 1 with 5:19 to go first period. Miller on the left side, out to the top to Montefiore. Jocelyn looking for the cutter, not quite there. We'll give it up to Morello on the right side. Morello dribbling left hand out to the top. Bounce pass, gets it to Montefiore. Want to go to the middle. Carpenter fights for the basketball, gets it out to Miller for a 3. Back iron, dies on the rim, doesn't go through. Rebound pulled down by Carpenter, but she can't get the offensive points. Roseburg able to get the rebound back, and they'll try it again. Carpenter in the middle, quick move, and the right-handed push shot good for Amy Carpenter, and she's got a quick 2 there. A nice move by Carpenter to get Roseburg in the lead. Up by 1, 6-5, Roseburg battling back here in the first quarter. To the top, a pass by Belinky Boyd to the left side. Meagert into the middle at the left elbow. Pass by Davis, swatted away. Meagert tracks it down, tries a long 2. She'll get hit as she shoots, and will head to the free throw line. Be another foul against Roseburg, their second here in the first period. This one will go against Emily Morello picking up her first. This sends South Eugene to the free throw line where Sophia Meagert will miss the first.
For first, team first.
Meagert has scored all 5 points in this ball game so far for the Axe. Second free throw is good. Ties it up. 6-all. Pass up the floor. Tie ball game here nearing the midway point of the first quarter. Carpenter gets it at the high post. Pass it away. In between the circles, Murphy with it. Looking for the cutters. Dribbles right side. Trying to close in for the steal. Meagert going to get whistled for the foul. First of the game for the Axe. She tried to step in front and steal that one away. Gets called for bodying up Emma Murphy. Murphy will get it in the backcourt. Across the timeline to Carpenter, who hands it back off to Murphy. Left side to Miller. Beyond the arc, looking underneath. Cutters congesting the lane just a bit there. Man-to-man defense here by South Eugene. Bounce into the corner. Miller trying to feed it to Carpenter, and pressure from the backside. I believe this goes against Kuiper, the sophomore.
South Eugene
trying to reach around Amy Carpenter for the steal.
Kuiper.
It'll be the foul against Kuiper. 2 team fouls against South Eugene. Inbound, bounced around a little bit, but gets into the hands of Morello. Gets it to Miller. Miller lobbing it underneath the Carpenter. Up, and she draws a foul again. Amy Carpenter, they're trying to feed her and let her go to work underneath. And she will draw another foul here.
31, Abigail Kuiper.
Kuiper picking up a quick 2 here in this first period with 3:47 to go. To the line will go Amy Carpenter, trying to put Roseburg back in front. Their largest lead was at 6-5. Carpenter gets the first. A friendly roll here at home for Amy. Will give Roseburg that 1-point lead again, and she's going to try to stretch it to the largest lead of the game for Roseburg as Kuiper takes a seat. Macy Galloway will check in, a senior for South Eugene. Carpenter makes the second one look easier, and she gives Roseburg an 8-6 lead, largest lead of the game for the Indians. Right side at the wing with it. Harris bounce in the middle, right through the hands of the intended target, Rowan Davis. The bounce pass, she mishandled that one. It goes out across the baseline. Roseburg will get the takeaway. Chelsea Miller comes out of the game as Michelle Rivera will check in for the first time this afternoon. Other than that, still the starters on the floor for Roseburg. The cutter, Murphy, gets it from Montefiore, but gives it back. Jocelyn thought about trying to drive, does not. Rivera gets it right side, drives baseline, circles back out. Still handling the basketball, backing her way in. Second defender comes out to Carpenter for a deep 3. She was a little bit further out than she thought. Launched that one long, but the rebound, weak side, pulled down by Roseburg. Morello gets it on the far side, gets it to Montefiore driving. She tries the deep 2. And Jocelyn Montefiore has 4 here in the first period. And Roseburg's out to their largest lead at 4, 10-6, 2:54 to go. Jocelyn Montefiore hitting that one from about 15 feet out. Bounce at the top. Quick pass by Tuglador. Over to the left side for Meagert. And Meagert gets her second 3 of the first period. Gets them back within 1. South Eugene trailing 10-9 with 2:37 to go. Rivera, left side. Drive out to the top at the free throw line. Pass it to Montefiore. Tries the same shot she just hit, but it was a little short. Rebound pulled down by Rivera, and Roseburg will get a second look. Michelle going to drive baseline, makes the pass as the defense collapse. Montefiore had an open look, but she's off again, and the rebound pulled down by Meagert. South Eugene in transition, lost the basketball. Meagert trying to go up around the defender, lost the handle. Roseburg with the takeaway. They'll slow it down in the half court. Morello to Montefiore on the right wing. Looking for the cutters. Murphy was there, but kind of congested with Carpenter in the way as well. On the right side of the floor, they'll revert it to the left side. Rivera with it at the wing. One dribble, bounce to Montefiore. She'll try the long 2 from 18 feet. That one off the mark. Rebound tipped up, pulled down by South Eugene. The Axe with it, trying to push the tempo up the floor. With it, it's Harris out at the top. Pass left side, Meagert, catch and shoot, wing 3, too long. Weak side rebound, saved. No, not going to save it back in. That is Avia Tuglador, who has come into the ball game a little bit ago, learning that name. Coming in, checking out of the game, Rowan Davis. And coming in for South Eugene is Lucia Villalobos. Lobos will check in. Also in the game, Macy Galloway. No, she goes to the bench. They had too many players on the floor for the Axe. Sydney Montefiore will check into the game for Roseburg. She tries to feed it to Carpenter. That pass tipped away. Meagert comes away with the steal. That is not Meagert, excuse me. That is instead Villalobos, and she had her shot blocked on the other side after the steal, trying to go coast to coast. Roseburg will have it, leading 10-9 with 1:14 to go here in the first period. Michaela Cunningham has come into the game as well for Roseburg, has it on the right wing. Pass it to Morello. Morello looking left side. Not there. Fighting for position underneath is Carpenter, working against Tuglador. Driving the baseline, Montefiore, pass it away, out to the top. Cunningham thought about a three, does not take that shot. Montefiore will get it. Only one out there on the floor at the moment. It is Sydney, so if I refer to Montefiore, you know who I'm talking about. Pass underneath, intended for Rivera, tipped out of her hands, and it'll stay with Roseburg on a foul call.
South Eugene foul
Call
10.
this one against Stella Lucas.
Stella Lucas.
Who is substituted into this game. She picks up her first. And that'll get us to a timeout here in the first period. As South Eugene up to 14 fouls, the Axe will take the timeout. We'll take a quick one as well. 30-second timeout back here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. Doing good? Okay, looks good. Thank you very much. Come back a hair late out of that timeout, and on the inbound, it is Sydney Montefiore that gets the catch and shoot. Bank shot two, and Roseburg's up by three again at 12-9. South Eugene with the basketball, 32 seconds to go first quarter. Meagert driving, will get bumped by Rivera. Michelle Rivera picking up her first.
Number 5, Michelle Rivera.
Just got out of position with her feet. Meagert took advantage, driving in against the senior. Inbound from the near sideline for South Eugene. That is Harris, has it, gets it back to Meagert, who has been hot to start out the game. She can't hit the three. Rebound pulled down by Carpenter. Up the way we go. 16 seconds to play first period. Rivera left side. Finds an open cutter. That is Morello, and she gets an easy two, even pushed in the back as the ball goes through. 14-9, Roseburg in front by 5. 3 seconds to go. Three-quarter court shot. That is just beyond half court. Shot almost falls through for Meagert, but does not. And at the end of the first period, it is 14-9, Roseburg in front. Come back after a 60-second break with the second quarter on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
We are Douglas County Farmers Co-op, but we're not just for farmers. We serve all residents of Douglas County because we are Douglas County. Stop by today for everything from a tank of gas to a bite to eat anytime you're hungry. Pick up something for yourself, your home, and those you care for. Celebrating 100 years of service, Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Good people, good products, and good advice.
Hey there, sports fans. It's Joey Kieran with the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. We're bringing you more local sports content as we change up our weekday sports lineup. We've got the Bald-Faced Truth with John Canzano, noon to 3 every weekday. And then from 4 to 6 is the James Crepia Show. More local sports talk here on Douglas County's home for sports, the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. Second quarter action here for you. Roseburg basketball here on the score is brought to you by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces in the area. Roseburg leading by 5, 14-9, their largest lead of the game as they take the advantage early against South Eugene, playing confident here, like the way they've looked, making sharp cuts, good passes, and hitting some shots. Chelsea Miller, Sydney Montefiore, Emily Morello, Michaela Cunningham, and Michelle Rivera, your starting five for the second quarter for Roseburg. They have the basketball. Nearly 30 seconds ticked away on this possession. Got a cutting at Miller, but she couldn't get the shot. A little awkward, too far underneath. And South Eugene comes away with the takeaway. Trying to force the ball up the floor quickly. That is Sophia Meagert. Her pass too strong through the hands of Aaliyah Harris. As those two on the floor to start, along with Lucia Villalobos on the floor for South Eugene. Stella Lucas and Avia Chuglador, your starting 5 for the second quarter for the Axe. Sydney Montefiore has the ball tipped out of her hands in the far corner. 7:13 to play here, second quarter. 14-9 still your score. Roseburg will get it near the corner on the baseline, their own half of the floor. Morello finds an opening cutter on the inbound pass to Cunningham, but as she tried to make her move in the right block, it's stripped out of her hands, and South comes away with the takeaway. 1 minute away in the second quarter. Pass left side. Meager gets it back between the circles, working against Montefiore. Roseburg going with the zone defense again. Lucas, spin around, gets it to Villalobos. She feeds underneath. Harris makes the extra pass right next to Tuglador, who backs her way in, gets the bucket and a foul. Avia Tuglador will get 2 and go to the line for a 3-point play. Avia will pick up 2, her first 2 there. That is the 3rd foul against Roseburg, and they haven't put it up on the board yet who it was. The free throw shot is no good for Tuglador. Offensive board and a foul on the floor. That was Harris on the rebound. Roseburg going to get called for another foul. Foul's not keeping up here. This will be Sydney Montefiore picking up her first.
Sydney Montefiore.
It'll be a non-shooter, so inbound from the baseline for the Axe. Trailing 14-11. Meagert inbounding. South's got to start moving. They'll get it into Tuglador out at the top. She'll pass left side to Meagert. Head fake, drive. Gets it to Harris from the free throw line. High shot off the glass, no good. Miller comes down with a good rebound. Roseburg will get the stop. They'll bring it up the floor. 6:30 here in the second. Roseburg leading by 3. Montefiore pass right side to Miller. Miller will look for the cutter. Rivera driving baseline. Cut off, double team. Underneath, has to pass it away, and her pass to Miller is just outside of her reach, out across the far sideline. Good double team on the defense there by South Eugene. And Roseburg will turn it over. Michelle Rivera will check out of the game, as back in will come Emma Murphy. Meagert brings it up for South. Right side to Lucas, gets it back. They'll go left side. Harris will drive with the right hand, pass it near side. A 3 by Meagert, looks off the back iron. It is. Rebound tipped by Cunningham, and it's out of bounds off the Tribe. It'll stay with South Eugene. Another miss on the 3 by Meagert there. She hit her first 2, has missed her last 3. Harris out at the top with it. Pass left side. Meagert, pump fake on the pass. Bounces it from the right elbow. Harris for 2. Gets South Eugene back within 1, 14-13. Full court pressure coming here from the Axe. Roseburg got to break it. Morello behind the back dribble. Almost an over and back, no call. I'm going to say I think that officials might have missed one there, or she just didn't quite establish herself in the half court. Morello, a free throw distance shot, no good. Rebound is pulled down by South Eugene. Roseburg's got to settle back in as they face a different defense here in the second quarter. The runner by Meagert off the mark. Murphy had the rebound, lost it, almost lost it out of bounds, but she saves it back into Cunningham. Roseburg will get the stop. Morello will bring it up with the miss. No half-court pressure, full-court pressure from South Eugene. So Roseburg able to walk it into the half-court. Montefiore finds the cutter. Miller going to get a foul call in her favor. And that'll send Chelsea to the line. The senior has got 2 points in the ball game.
Number 25.
She will try to add some from the line here and keep Roseburg in front. Right now up by 1. Foul goes against Tuglador. That is the 15th foul against South Eugene. First one doesn't go for Miller. Jocelyn Montefiore will check back into the game for Emily Morello. We'll get a breather. Second free throw. Miller doesn't get it. Montefiore rushing in to try and steal it away from Tuglador, but she pokes it out of bounds. And it'll stay with the Axe. They trail by 1, a chance to retake the lead here, nearing the midway point of the second period. Harris with it on the left side. Pass to the baseline. Cut into the middle. That's Lucas. Back out. Meagert to 3. It's off the left iron and up over the backboard, out of bounds. Since starting hot for 2 for 2 from behind the arc, she's gone a bit cold. In that first period, all 9 points scored by Sophia Meagert. Roseburg with it. 4:30 to go here in the second before halftime. Leading by 1. Miller out at the top. Picks up the dribble. Gets it to Montefiore. Sydney passing it into the middle. That ball tipped. It'll stay with Roseburg. Roseburg thought that was off of them. We've got both Jocelyn and Sydney Montefiore out on the floor for Roseburg. Murphy, Miller, and Michaela Cunningham. Sydney pass to the top side, to the left there for Miller. Back out to the top. Murphy goes right, back to her left. Sydney gets it on the left wing, looking for the cutters. Had the defender right all in her face there. That's Harris applying the pressure. Now Sydney Montefiore called for the travel.
Amy Carpenter into the Roseburg.
Amy Carpenter back in after a lengthy break here in the second period. Carpenter with 4 points, tied for the team lead in that first period. And Roseburg has not scored here in the second. They've been scoreless for about 4 minutes. Left side, Harris. Pass into the corner. Tuglador finds the cutter through the middle. That was Belinky Boyd, who's back into the game. Excuse me, that's Bentonson that is in the game there. Out at the top, Lucas, right side, Meagert, pass baseline, Bentonson nearly lost it. She does turn it over. Murphy gets it. She'll hesitate, and now will bring it up the floor. Didn't want to get caught in traffic trying to go in transition. Miller gets it right side. She'll dribble out between the circles with the left hand, bounce it left side to Murphy, give and go. Miller on the baseline, her shot just short. A good run of the offense there, just couldn't get it to cash. Meagert gets it right side, pass left side with it. Couple of steps there, and that almost looked like a travel by Harris. Instead, a whistle to stop play on a foul by Roseburg. That'll be the 6th for the Tribe. And this one goes against Emma Murphy, her first.
12. Emma Murphy.
Inbound from in front of the Roseburg bench for Paige Bentonson, the senior, who has checked into the game here in the second period. Meagert gets it around a screen, launches the three, too long. Rebound underneath, pulled down by Murphy. Tipped out of her hands, but she'll get it back. And Roseburg gets the stop. Leading by 1, we've hit a stalemate here. Neither team scoring for a while. Roseburg hasn't scored in over 3 minutes, but there is, making it 5 minutes streak. And Emma Murphy gets her first points of the game, a 3 to put Roseburg back in front by 4. That comes at the 3-minute mark. Roseburg had been scoreless for 5 minutes here in the second period. A 3 on the other side, off the mark, way short, and Carpenter comes down with the rebound after the miss by Bentonson. Roseburg with it on the right side. Miller has it knocked out of her hands, and it's a takeaway by South Eugene. .223 to go here in the first half. It's a 4-point lead for Roseburg. South Eugene, right side, Harris, the senior, dribbles left hand out to the top. Listed as a guard. She's got a big frame for a guard. Out to the top, Harris, right side. Pull it back, left side, gets it to Meagert. Meagert wanted to pass it right away. Has her dribble, one-handed pass to Harris as they play pitch and catch at the top. Into the corner with it, Davis. Back out to Harris. At the right wing, she'll back it out, working against the zone. Meagert, head fake. She knew the defense would come. She passed it away to Davis. Davis pass out to the Harris. Stolen away by Morello. One-on-one. Morello has the shot blocked. Carpenter gets it on the loose ball. Goes up with it. Her shot off the mark. And Roseburg can't capitalize on the steal. South Eugene up with it in transition. Up the floor quickly. Pass through the hands. And trying to save it in is Murphy. She could not get the ball. It went through the hands of Davis for South Eugene. Roseburg nearly had the steal but couldn't collect it. And a timeout taken by South Eugene. The Axe, they are trailing by 4. We'll take a 30-second break here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Deciding where to purchase your next vehicle is just as important as the vehicle itself. At Roseburg Honda, our seasoned staff is dedicated to matching you with the right car. From sales to service, our goal is to make sure all of your needs are met, and you leave our dealership feeling good every time you visit. No need to waste your valuable time driving up and down the freeway when the ultimate car buying experience is right here at home. Roseburg Honda. We treat you like family.
Roseburg leading 17-13 against South Eugene. Before we resume action, let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds for a station identification. This is Roseburg basketball on the score. A minute 36 to play here in the first half. Roseburg at the moment leading by 4, 17-13. South Eugene with the basketball out of their timeout. They'll run their inbound play from the baseline. Meagert gets it around a screen. Doesn't pull up for the three. Morello right on top of her. Pass a long way across the floor. Belinky Boyd gets it to Harris. Harris driving in. The runner dies on the back of the iron. No good, but rebound tip to Tuglador. Her put back no good. Carpenter this time pulls it away. Roseburg with the stop, trying to stretch their lead. A made field goal here would give them their largest lead of the game. Carpenter driving in. She gets hit. She tries to go up. She does a nice job on those hook shot, push shot there with the right hand. This time draws the foul and will head to the line where she is going for the second time in the ball game. Roseburg's largest lead was 5 in the first period. And Carpenter will be unable to get him back to that point on the first free throw. Second one coming up. Roseburg basketball on the score brought to you by Flyway Travel. Contact their travel experts for your travel plans. Now located at 1445 West Harvard Avenue in Roseburg, or call them at 672-5701. 1 out of 2 at the line for Carpenter. She stretches it back to a 5-point game. That's where it was at the end of the first period. Roseburg, after a slow start to the second, back in front by 5. With it on the left side, Harris going to drive in, tries the Euro step, and she'll get it to fall. Stepping around the defense, puts it through for 2. 3-point game, 50 seconds to go. Montefiore up the floor to Carpenter, one-on-one. She'll drive in, the jump stop. Her jumper is off the mark, falls off the rim, and pulled in by Bentonson. Pulled down that rebound. Up the floor we go. On the right side, Harris with it out to Meagert. Meagert working against Montefiore, drives baseline, runner short, rebound pulled down by Carpenter. Carpenter gets the ball into the hands of Murphy. 20 seconds to go. First half, Roseburg trying to stretch it back to a 5-point lead or more. Give and go with Miller. Drives in. Chelsea has her shot blocked. Up with it. 9 seconds to go. Up the floor comes Belinky Boyd. Out to Meagert, and Meagert gets called for the travel. Got the defense in the air, tried to sidestep the closing defender, and gets called for the walk. Turns it over. 5.4 seconds to go. We saw Emily Morello hit a half-court shot against Sheldon. 4 seconds, 2 seconds, ball through the hands, and Roseburg at the buzzer, unable to get the shot off in time. And at the halftime break, it is Roseburg 18 and South Eugene 15. Roseburg leading by 3 at the break. In front, going into the locker room. It's been a little while since we've had a chance to say that for the Roseburg girls. They'll try to see if they can hang on in the second half. We'll have the halftime recap for you coming up after a 2-minute break. This is Roseburg basketball on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
We are Douglas County Farmers Co-op, but we're not just for farmers. We serve all residents of Douglas County because we are Douglas County. Stop by today for everything from a tank of gas to a bite to eat anytime you're hungry. Pick up something for yourself, your home, and those you care for. Celebrating 100 years of service, Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Good people, good products, and good advice.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter,
a college student,
a mother,
and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready
for every storm
and disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors,
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
As a doctor, I kept myself safe from COVID by following all the proper protocols. Then I visited my family, and we all got COVID. I debated getting the vaccine since I gained the COVID antibodies. I changed my mind because I learned the antibodies may not offer full protection. But getting the vaccine after COVID can help prevent you from getting sick again. It also lowers your risk of getting someone else sick. So whether you've already had COVID or you're still unvaccinated, please get the vaccine.
Here at the halftime break, it is Roseburg on top of South Eugene, 18-15 your score. Joey Kieran here with you from Roseburg High School. Thanks so much for taking time to tune in for Roseburg High Sports here on the score this afternoon. Today's game has been sponsored by Roseburg Honda. You can buying a car can be a hassle, but at Roseburg Honda, it is different. Customer satisfaction is their highest priority. Visit Roseburg Honda, where they treat you like family because they are family. And by Barnes Heating and Cooling, your complete energy company. Visit barnesheatingandcooling.com or call them at 541-459-1545. Well, here at the halftime break, Roseburg in front. They led by as many as 5, both in the first and second quarters. South Eugene leading in this one by as many as 3 in the first period, but Roseburg able to hold the lead after taking it in the first quarter. They held it all through the second quarter, despite starting the second period on a scoreless run. Roseburg was on top 14-9 after the first 8 minutes, but then went scoreless for 5 minutes to start the second quarter. Finally, an Emma Murphy three-pointer with about 3 minutes to go in that second quarter got Roseburg on the board in the second period. They would only score 4 points, but they did stretch it out to a 5-point lead. But South Eugene would get a point just before the end of the first half to get back within 3 here at the break. South Eugene outscoring Roseburg 6-4 in the second quarter. They had their opportunities to try and really close in that second period, but South Eugene just a little bit cold. In fact, cold for Sophia Meagert. She scored all of her points in the first period. She's the leading scorer in the ball game, but she was scoreless in the second. We'll take a look at individual scoring here in just a moment as Roseburg leads 18-15 here at the halftime break. Remember to stick around. Once we wrap things up here in the girls' game, we'll have a quick break in between games, and then we'll get a chance to get you Roseburg boys basketball coming up in our second game of the day. The boys taking on South Eugene as Roseburg and South Eugene both are looking for their first win in Southwest Conference play. At the halftime break, 18-15, the Roseburg girls in front of South Eugene looking for their first conference win of the season. And I don't have it off the top of my head, but if Roseburg were to get a win in conference play, I got to think it's going to be the first conference win for Roseburg in quite some time. So we'll see if we can find that information for you here in a little bit. Whole second half to go. It's been a competitive one so far. Take a look at individual scoring for you after a quick 2-minute timeout here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
I'm Amelia Snow. I work in the intensive care unit at Mercy Medical Center in Roseburg. I have seen the terrible damage COVID has done to my patients and their families. Without a vaccine, people of all ages can get very sick, even if they were perfectly healthy before they had COVID. The COVID vaccine is safe and effective and will reduce your risk of getting so sick you wind up at Mercy Medical. Get vaccinated, and I won't have to see you in the ICU.
Here at the halftime break, a 3-point lead for Roseburg on top of South Eugene. Let's go ahead and take a look at our individual scoring from the first half. For the visiting Axe, leading the way with a game-high 9 points is Sophia Meagert, although held scoreless in the second quarter. 4 points for Aaliyah Harris. And then 2 points for Avia Tuglador. And those are your scores in the first half for South Eugene. For Roseburg, nice spread between the team. Leading the way with 5 is Amy Carpenter. 4 points for Jocelyn Montefiore. 3 points for Emma Murphy. Then 2 points for Emily Morello, Sydney Montefiore, and for Chelsea Miller. In the first half, 1 of 3 at the free throw line for South Eugene. Roseburg was 3 of 4 from the stripe. 1 of 3 from behind the arc for Roseburg in the first half. And for South Eugene, they were 2 of 8 from behind the arc for South Eugene in that first half. We'll go ahead and take our final break of the halftime show. When we come back, second half action for you. Don't forget to stick around for the post-game show when we name our Mountain Mike's Pizza player of the game for the Roseburg girls. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be. Back after this 60-second timeout on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Get ready to start the second half of action. It is Roseburg and South Eugene. Roseburg leading by 3 here as we start the second half. South Eugene will start with the basketball wearing their road blacks, purple numbers front and back. Roseburg in the home whites with the orange numbers on the front and the backs as well. South Eugene will be going right to left on your radio dial as we get things started. Sophia Meagert out there to start things off, along with Aaliyah Harris, who has it in the corner. Pass to Tuglador at the free throw line. Back out to Meagert for a 3. She's off the mark. Underneath, the rebound tipped out of the hands of Chelsea Miller. Out of bounds to Roseburg. Abby Kuiper in foul trouble. She's out there to start the second half as Roseburg will face a full court pressure. And Cara Belinky-Boyd, those are your 5 starters for the second half for the Axe. Amy Carpenter gets it across the timeline, bounces it to Montefiore. Jocelyn turns it over on a pass through the lane. Up the floor, Meagert, a left-handed lay-in, no good. Harris with the rebound. And then a jump ball called as Roseburg gets in and ties it up, and the arrow will favor Roseburg. 7:24 to go. Roseburg's starting 5 for the second half will be their starting 5 from the beginning of the ball game as they work against a press. Murphy with it at the center court circle will bounce it across, gets it up the floor to Carpenter. Morello will take a straightaway 3, too long. Rebound pulled down by Amy, and she puts it back for 2.
Amy Carpenter.
The putback is good for Roseburg, back in front by 5 for the Tribe, 20-15. And now a 3 on the other side. Sophia Meagert, her first point since the first period. She gets the 3 there, and it's a 2-point game. That's the bucket that South Eugene needed. Roseburg with some numbers, but Montefiore can't capitalize as they broke the press there, cutting through the middle. Miller had a decent look. Ooh, travel call. She moved her pivot, changed her pivot foot. 6:38 to go. Roseburg turns it over. Jocelyn Montefiore, Amy Carpenter, Emily Morello, Emma Murphy, and Chelsea Miller out on the floor for Roseburg here to start the second half. Harris driving in, cut off, out to Meagert for the 3. She's feeling it again. She's got back-to-back threes here in the third quarter. And South Eugene is back in front. The Axe leading 21-20, and a timeout taken by Roseburg. And that'll be the first of the second half. They trail by 1. Let's take a 30-second break. Come back with more of the action on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Get ready to satisfy your dessert cravings with Mountain Mike's new mini churros. These delicious bite-sized churros are the perfect dessert to pair with your favorite Mountain Mike's pizza. Made with only the freshest and finest ingredients. Dough made fresh daily with 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese and toppings to the edge. For limited time only, get 16 mini churros for the whole family for only $4.99. Don't wait. Order yours today for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery.
.620 to go here in the third quarter. South Eugene, their first lead since the first period. Tonight's game brought to you by Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? And by Dr. Alanson Randall. They're accepting new patients, so give them a call at 541-378-6694. Roseburg will have the ball out of the timeout, facing a full court press from South Eugene. Morello inbound to Montefiore. To Miller in the backcourt. Meagert steals it away, and Roseburg will turn it over out of the timeout. They had the lead at halftime, and I think Coach hoping his team doesn't come out and play timid here in the second half. A travel called by Harris. South Eugene, you knew they were going to come out and try to make a run to start the third quarter. They have. And I think Coach on the bench got to be thinking, I hope that the girls stick with it, play confident. They will break the press into the half court. Morello gets it to Miller. Miller nearly traveled at the top. Should have been. Now stolen away by Meagert. She's out in front of the defense. She'll lay it from the left side with the right hand, and it misses. And Roseburg gets a break there. Carpenter will get it into the half court. Out at the top. Working against Kuiper, pulling the big out from the paint. Murphy to Carpenter. Carpenter lobs it to Montefiore. Pump fake. Tries to bounce it to Carpenter. Couldn't get it there. Steal away by South Eugene, leading by 1 up the floor. Harris tries to attack. Goes right into Murphy. Her shot off the mark. Rebound. Jump ball called. And I believe it goes to South Eugene. The Axe will keep the possession. Miller is going to come out here early in the third quarter. 5:20 to play. A 1-point lead for South Eugene. Chelsea Miller takes a seat. Michaela Cunningham into the game, the sophomore. Inbound into the corner to Meagert. Step back 3. Got it. The senior catching fire to start the third quarter. She's got another 3. That is 3 straight. And she's got South Eugene out to their largest lead of the game at 4. Up the floor, Cunningham got tied up. This time the possession arrow favors Roseburg. Good defense by Belinky Boyd to tie up Cunningham. Roseburg will inbound from the baseline. Morello needing someone to get open. Out to Carpenter. She'll try the 3. Oh, just off the left side. Doesn't catch iron. Up the floor quickly. Closing out. Carpenter helping to affect a shot by Belinky Boyd, and Roseburg gets the stop up the other direction. Jocelyn finds it open, cutting Carpenter. Carpenter, the baseline jumper from 18 feet, falls off the iron, no good. Roseburg cold to start the second half. 24-20, tip out of bounds, stays with the Axe.
Stella Lucas into the South Eugene lineup, and for Roseburg, Michelle Rivera.
Emma Murphy will come out of the game. Michelle Rivera back in for the Tribe. And Stella Lucas checking in for South Eugene. Tuglador back into the game as well. Harris, fake right, goes left, gets the bucket and a foul, and a big Big play there for Aaliyah Harris. She'll have a chance at the three-point play. They've stretched the lead out to its biggest of the game for either side. 6 points now for South Eugene. The and one shot coming up. That foul goes against Michaela Cunningham, who has 2 now in the ballgame. Three-point play is good, as Harris will get her first free throw made. 7-point lead for South Eugene here. They continue to press in the backcourt. Montefiore lobs it to Morello. Working against Meagert, picks up the dribble, gets it to Rivera. Rivera into the half court to Montefiore, and Roseburg gets it across just in time. A three by Carpenter, front iron, clinks off. No good. It's a decent look at it, it just didn't want to fall. On the other side, a three, good by Stella Lucas. Her first point to the game, and it's now a 10-point lead for South Eugene. They are on fire. 15-2 run here to start out this third quarter. Rivera got an open lane. She drives in. That ball sits on the iron before dropping off. And there is a lid on the hoop for Roseburg on their side of the floor. And a player down in the backcourt. As South Eugene coming up the other way. That is Rivera that is down. They're looking, I think, at her right ankle. She went down awkwardly after that runner there. So they'll stop play here. Well, this is time to let you know today's game, sponsored by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County, and by DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop. 3:40 to go here in the third quarter. 15-2 run by South Eugene. They've got 4 3-pointers and then a 3-point play by Aaliyah Harris. As Rivera, who has been working back from an injury, had just gotten back to kind of full strength today, and she is limping to the trainer's table, not putting any weight on that right ankle. And unfortunately, I think that may mean that the senior, Michelle Rivera, she may not be back in this game with the way that looked pretty severe for her there and already had been dealing with injuries. 3:40 to go, and that's a loss for Roseburg. Sydney Montefiore checks into the game for Rivera. Left side, Tuglador with it, looking underneath, and a whistle away from the basketball. Call the foul against Montefiore. Sydney picks up her second.
Roseburg foul on number 20.
That'll be the second against Roseburg. 2 team fouls against Roseburg, none against South Eugene so far here in the second half. Harris driving right side into the corner for Lucas. Lucas to Meagert, nearly stolen away. Morello with a hand in the face for Meagert. She misses the three, but an offensive board for the Axe. They'll get a second look as a baseline runner now for Meagert. She has caught fire here in this third quarter after going scoreless in the second. Roseburg needs some help in the backcourt. They'll inbound. 12-point lead for South Eugene. Roseburg gets it into the half court. Open cutter, and Sydney Montefiore will get fouled on her way up. It has been all South Eugene here in the third. Overcoming a 3-point deficit, they lead by 12. Foul goes against Avia Tuglador. Free throw by Sydney Montefiore is no good.
And Sydney Montefiore at the line to shoot one more.
Second free throw. Back iron, no good. Rebound, tipped by Carpenter, still loose. Montefiore will get it. Sydney does get it back for Roseburg. Carpenter steps inside for the long two. Off the mark, fight for it underneath. Ball on the ground, still loose. And it is South Eugene that comes up with it. Meagert will bring it up the floor. 2:36 to play third quarter. One-handed bounce pass the right side to Harris at the wing. She'll drive against Jocelyn Montefiore, who will get called for the foul. Jocelyn picking up, I believe, her first. Yes. Inbound from the baseline for South Eugene. Lob out to the top. Tuglador gets it to Harris on the left side of the perimeter. And a foul away from the basketball, trying to get Meagert free. A whistle against South Eugene. So a turnover by the Axe. Roseburg needing to get a little bit of a run going here before the end of the third quarter, trying maybe get it back down to single digits. Carpenter gets it in the half court. And her pass, though, intended for Jocelyn Montefiore, taken away easily by Harris. Harris up the floor, gets it to Meagert. Steps around the flying defender, tries a three. It's off the mark. She's missed two after hitting her first three to start the third quarter. In the middle, Lucas pass it out to Harris. Her jump shot a bit awkward, affected by the defender, and Roseburg comes down with the rebound. It's Michaela Cunningham who gets the rebound, brings it into the half court. Right side, Jocelyn Montefiore looking for the cutter, nobody there. Back out to Sydney. Sydney Montefiore drives left side to Cunningham. Cunningham, the jam in the traffic there for Roseburg on those cutters trying to get through. Sydney Montefiore drives in. Morello out at the top now to the free throw line. Cunningham wanted to try and do something with it, couldn't get it. 1:32 to go in the third, and a whistle stops play. Roseburg just struggling to get through the offense, it kind of felt like there, with the aggressive defense here from South Eugene. 32-20 the score. South Eugene in front. That foul does go against Sophia Meagert.
Macy Galloway.
Coming out of the game, Rowan Davis checks out of the game. Macy Galloway comes in. Inbound pass goes to Michaela Cunningham. She's got an easy look for two right underneath the basket. A nice, much-needed basket there for Roseburg, just second to go through here in the third quarter. Back within 10, 32-22, 1:15 to go in the third period. Galloway left side to Lucas. Outside the perimeter, driving in, backing her way in against Jocelyn Montefiore. Gets right to the rim, but the shot bounces and tips off. And she tried to tip the rebound to a teammate, but Stella Lucas going to get called for over the back. With 1:05 to go in the third quarter. That'll be her second. 14 fouls now against South Eugene. Jocelyn Montefiore will check out. Emma Murphy back into the game for Roseburg. Carpenter gets it to Morello in the backcourt. Still full court press by the Axe. Lob up the floor to Cunningham. Tries to get it over the top of the defense, and Murphy will get it. In the corner, Sydney Montefiore a three. Looks long. Weak side rebound pulled down by Meagert. Meagert up the floor, racing up. The Roseburg defense is able to catch up, and the shot off the mark on the runner by Meagert. Carpenter getting the rebound, getting the stop for Roseburg. 40 seconds to go, third quarter. A bucket could cut it to a single-point deficit. Murphy launches a three, misses everything, and out of bounds. Had a wide-open look at it there, just didn't catch the iron. 10-point game, 32 seconds to go. South Eugene in front. In the half court, Harris with it. Working against Sydney Montefiore, trying to stay in front, dribbling left. Crossover, looks for a screen. Going right side, Harris with it, can't quite break free. Gets it to Meagert for a three. Long rebound, pulled down by Cunningham, and then a whistle. Cunningham fouled as she got that defensive board.
South Eugene foul number 25.
That'll go against South Eugene. It is Avia Tuglador that picks up the foul. 6 seconds to go. Morello lost it up the floor. That ball tipped. It'll stay with Roseburg with 2 seconds. Sydney Montefiore slapped at it, knocked it out off of a South Eugene player. 2 seconds to go. 10-point game.
Avia Tuglador.
Morello gets it to Murphy. Got to put up a shot. It's tipped out of bounds, and that'll be the way the third quarter comes to an end. 32-22, South Eugene in front of Roseburg at the end of three. We go to the final period coming up after a 60-second break on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
We are Douglas County Farmers Co-op, but we're not just for farmers. We serve all residents of Douglas County because we are Douglas County. Stop by today for everything from a tank of gas to a bite to eat anytime you're hungry. Pick up something for yourself, your home, and those you care for. Celebrating 100 years of service, Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Good people, good products, and good advice.
Hey there, sports fans. It's Joey Kieran with The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. We're bringing you more local sports content as we change up our weekday sports lineup. We've got the Bald-Faced Truth with John Canzano, noon to 3 every weekday. And then from 4 to 6 is the James Crepia Show. More local sports talk here on Douglas County's home for sports, The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Fourth quarter action. South Eugene starting with it. Sophia Meager going to try and launch a deep three. That one rims halfway down and then spits back out. Ball in the middle, lost at first by Davis. She gets it back, got it to Harris, who gets a scoop shot. Not to fall, but she does draw the foul as we welcome you back for the fourth quarter. 10-point game in favor of South Eugene as they outscore Roseburg 17-4 in the third. 32-22 the score, 20 seconds away, and at the line will go Aaliyah Harris. She misses the front end. Roseburg basketball here on The Score is sponsored by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces in the area. Fisher's Hearth and Home. Second free throw, no good. Empty trip to the line for South Eugene, and then a whistle on the rebound in favor of Roseburg. They'll get the ball on the sideline. 5 team fouls against South Eugene and 4 against Roseburg. Still full court pressure from the Axe. Roseburg will break it into the half court. Morello to Montefiore. Left side to Murphy. That's Sydney Montefiore. Emma Murphy, Sydney Montefiore, Emily Morello, Michaela Cunningham, and Amy Carpenter out on the floor for Roseburg. Cunningham tries to drive, pass it away to Murphy. Murphy to Carpenter, right wing. Had some space beyond the arc, doesn't try to take a three. Gets it out to Montefiore at the top. Morello gets it left side, finds a cunning Carpenter. Driving in with the left-handed shot. It's off the mark. And a whistle. Travel called in the backcourt. Roseburg applying the pressure against South Eugene. And they will force the travel. They'll get it at their own baseline. Morello inbounding underneath the basket. Will get it into Murphy. Fought for it in the corner. Murphy pulls it back out. Gets it to Sydney Montefiore at the top. Left side to Carpenter at the wing. Looking for the cutter. It's not there. They'll try the right side here. Cutter, Carpenter open in the middle. That was a double team. That leaves open Cunningham, and Cunningham gets it to fall through. Michaela gets a friendly home roll there, and it's back to an 8-point game. Roseburg trying to cut it down. A lot of time left in this one. 6.5 to play. A three from the right side off the mark. Bodies on the floor. Carpenter pulls down the rebound after the miss by Lucas. Felt like everybody was waiting for a whistle, and it never happened. 6:25 to go. Through the center circle comes Morello. Right side to Carpenter. She'll not try to force it in the middle to Murphy. Pass nearly stolen away. Sydney Montefiore gets it to Amy Carpenter. Lowers her shoulder, trying to drive in. And it's tipped out of bounds off of South Eugene. 8-point game, 32-24. Sydney Montefiore will take a seat as Aria Smith will check into the game, the sophomore. Also a substitution in for South Eugene. I believe that is Belinky Boyd. Morello in the corner with it. Out to the top. Left side, Carpenter looking for the cutter. Oh, Morello was there for a second. They didn't find the window. Murphy going to drive right side, poked away from her, keeps it, picks up the dribble in the corner. Carpenter comes to help, gets it out at the top. Roseburg has time. They don't have to rush anything here. They want to look for a good shot, and then a whistle is going to get called against Roseburg away from the basketball. Kyla Cunningham called for the foul, and a timeout taken by Roseburg. 30-second timeout taken by the Tribe. We'll take one as well. This is Roseburg basketball on 541radio.com and on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Out of the Roseburg timeout, South Eugene basketball leading by 8 with 5:39 to go in the game. Roseburg looking for their first conference win. South Eugene trying to get their second. Sophia Meagert at the top. She can shoot. That one doesn't fall, but she draws the foul. Closing out, I believe, was Aria Smith, and she does pick up her first newly into the game. And Smith will put Sophia Meagert at the line for 3 foul shots here. That is the 16th foul against Roseburg. Quick update on the injury here. Michelle Rivera on the trainer's table, still getting attended to over there. So, fortunately, that looks like it could be somewhat serious there. First one doesn't go for Meagert. She's got 2 more coming here from the line. Roseburg forgot that it was 3, so 1 more coming here as that one doesn't go as well. Roseburg basketball brought to you by Flyway Travel. Contact their travel experts for your travel plans. 672-5701. Third of the 3 free throw attempts does go through. 33-24 is your score. South Eugene in front of Roseburg, pressing in the backcourt. Roseburg gets it across the timeline. Carpenter charging in. Her bounce pass knocked away, but she gets it back. And quick decision, she'll put it off the glass and drops it in for 2. 33-26. Roseburg back within 7. Out at the top, pressure by Morello. Harris had to fight for that one and a whistle away from it. A double foul called, I think. (33-26). It was fouls on, I want to say both teams fouls there. .5:03 to go. Harris gets it, drives in, gets the easy lay-in. Harris with 9 in the ball game. Back to a 9-point game in favor of the Axe. And Morello forcing the pass and stepping out of bounds as she tried to save it back in. Paige Bettinson gives it back to Roseburg. Morello was looking right side all the time. Meanwhile, on the other side of the floor, Amy Carpenter was wide open, and they just could not get it to the right person. Timeout taken by Roseburg. It's a full timeout. Let's take a 60-second break, and then we'll come back with the remainder of our fourth quarter here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
We are Douglas County Farmers Co-op, but we're not just for farmers. We serve all residents of Douglas County because we are Douglas County. Stop by today for everything from a tank of gas to a bite to eat anytime you're hungry. Pick up something for yourself, your home, and those you care for. Celebrating 100 years of service, Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Good people, good products, and good advice.
Hey there, sports fans. It's Joey Kieran with the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. We're bringing you more local sports content as we change up our weekday sports lineup. We've got the Bald-Faced Truth with John Canzano, noon to 3 every weekday. And then from 4 to 6 is the James Crepia Show. More local sports talk here on Douglas County's home for sports, the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Roseburg girls basketball trailing by 9 here in the fourth quarter, 4:48 to play. Been one of their closest contests in a bit, and they're trying to close it down even more. Working against the full court press, going to have to get it across soon, and a pass stolen away. It's Belinky Boyd with the steal. She'll go out in the front court, and a whistle is going to stop play. She got trapped, double team, picked up her dribble, but she'll get bailed out by the whistle. 4:34 to go in the matchup.
Roseburg foul on number.
And it's a 1-1 into the bonus now is South Eugene. Roseburg with 8 team fouls. And South Eugene with 6. Front end of the 1-1 goes through for Belinky Boyd.
Belinky Boyd at the line to shoot.
Back to a 10-point lead for the Axe. They led by as many as 12 in the third period. Second free throw is good. So Blinky Boyd hits them both. 11-point game. Roseburg, 4.5 to play, and they'll turn it over again. Harris with the takeaway, and 2. And that is a bit of a dagger there for the Axe. Inbound goes to Carpenter. Carpenter back to Morello. Got to work against this full court press. Ball pass was tipped away, but Roseburg does get it back as it went right back to Morello, and they'll get it into the half court. Nearing the midway point of the fourth quarter. Murphy finds an open cutter. Chelsea Miller underneath, too strong, but she does draw the whistle. Chelsea Miller will head to the free throw line for 2. 7th team foul against South Eugene.
South Eugene foul on number 12, Rowan Davis. Chelsea Miller to the line.
The foul goes against Rowan Davis. The front end of the 2 shots for Miller doesn't go. She was 0 for 3 at the line. Roseburg basketball here on the score, brought to you by Roseburg Honda. Buying a car can be a hassle, but at Roseburg Honda it's different. Stop by Roseburg Honda. They treat you like family because they are family. Empty trip to the line for Chelsea Miller. South Eugene up the floor. Offensive or defensive? No, the foul on the floor. It's against Roseburg. Aaliyah Harris driving in, went right into the chest of Emily Morello, knocked her to the floor. The foul on the floor, not a shooter, but in the bonus. Both teams now in the bonus, and this will be a 1-and-1 opportunity for Aaliyah Harris. She is 1 of 3 at the line so far. 3:58 to play. It's a 13-point lead, largest of the game for South Eugene. First free throw goes through for Harris. Second free throw. Off the back iron. Rebound down to Carpenter. Double team on her, trying to steal it away. More pressure in the backcourt. Aria Smith will get it up into the half court. And then the ball taken away from her. And this defense from South Eugene has taken it to another level here in the second half. Roseburg has just not been able to hang on to the basketball enough to get through their offense. Harris with it to the right side. Bettinson to Meagert. You can't leave her open, and she'll hit. That is her 6th 3 of the game for Sophia Meagert. And it is out to now a 17-point lead. And another takeaway by South Eugene. That ball hung on the rim and falls through for Aaliyah Harris.
Sophia Meagert.
19-point game. South Eugene pulling away here late in this one after trailing by 3 at halftime. It has been all South Eugene in the second half, and Roseburg has scored 8 points since the halftime break. And they have struggled to handle this full court press from South Eugene here. We keep it right here in the timeout taken by Roseburg. Let you know tonight's game brought to you by Barnes Heating and Cooling, your complete energy company. Visit barnesheatingandcooling.com or call them at 541-459-1545. And by Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? 3:07 to go in the ball game. Reminder that coming up after this, we'll have the Roseburg boys game here on the radio and streaming online at 541radio.com and on our YouTube channel, 1490 The Score on YouTube. You can subscribe and follow Roseburg High Sports all throughout the school year. Coming up in the spring, we'll have more coverage of baseball. Might try and sneak in a softball game in there. I'm not sure yet, but might get a chance to do that. But we'll have coverage of Roseburg High Sports through the spring season as well. So check it out. 1490 The Score on YouTube. Follow Roseburg High Sports. Hannah Bowman is coming to the game for Roseburg, helping break the press. And up the floor, the pass going to Kayla Klopfenstein, but through her hands and out of bounds. It'll be a turnover by Roseburg, and it seems like Roseburg bringing in a few fresh faces. Hannah Bowman and Kayla Klopfenstein checking into the game here in the fourth quarter. Sydney Montefiore, Chelsea Miller, and Michaela Cunningham out there on the floor. South Eugene is slowing things down, leading by 19. They'll wear down the clock. 2.5 to play here. Meagert out at the top, working against Bowman. Going left, but just toying with her a bit there. Just drive, pull it back out, wearing time off the clock. Harris out at the top with it now, working against Montefiore. Sydney will get her to pass it away. Blinky Boyd, and now a foul called. And it'll send South Eugene back to the free throw line. 9 fouls against Roseburg. Kayla Klopfenstein called for the foul. And this sends Blinky Boyd to the free throw line. She is 2 for 2. First shot is good. Roseburg at 10 fouls now, so double bonus for South Eugene. Made the first, so Boyd was getting a second one. Blinky Boyd will hit both of them. 21-point lead, and Roseburg was looking well in the first half. This defensive pressure has been another level for South Eugene here in the second half, and Roseburg hasn't been able to handle. Montefiore has it. Sidney will pull it out between the circles. Right side now to Miller. Miller looking for a cutter, but there's nobody there. Now Bowman will cut. Pass tipped and then out of bounds. Stays with Roseburg off the hands of Aaliyah Harris. Inbound from the baseline. It'll be Klopfenstein to handle that. On the bench, Michelle Rivera has her foot taped up. I don't see any ice on it, but it is all wrapped up to probably help with any swelling, and she's got it elevated. That's unfortunate for the senior there. A lot of starters heading to the bench for South Eugene. They get a round of applause. A baseline jumper by Kayla Klopfenstein off the mark, and then, Klopfenstein trying to poke free the rebound, and she'll run over Abby Kuiper from the backside. That is Rowan Davis, who got hit from the backside, and she'll head to the free throw line on the other side. Klopfenstein picking up her second foul. 2 shots coming up here for Davis with 1:49 to go. Boys team starting to get stretched out and ready to go for their game coming up. Davis will hit for her first point of the game, their first of 2 free throws, 48-26. Second free throw didn't fall, and Roseburg will come up with the rebound. Cunningham will bring it into the half court. Far side, Klopfenstein with it, looking for a cutter. Now we'll get a screen. She's got her dribble, not going to use it. Pass out to Montefiore at the top. Sidney brings it to the right side of the floor. Chelsea Miller passing into the middle to Klopfenstein, and a foul called against Macy Galloway. So at halftime, we were hopeful that maybe Roseburg might have a shot at their first conference win of the year. So we dug into the record books, and Tom Eggers, the sports director for the News Review, helping out a little bit here, looking it up. February 16th of 2018, the last time that Roseburg won a Southwest Conference game, it was against South Eugene, 34-28, that one in Eugene. Unfortunately, the second half has not gone Roseburg's way, and it looks like they will fall short of getting that first win in conference in what is almost coming up on 4 years. Klopfenstein hit the first of 2 free throws. She'll get the second. 20-point game, 48-28, 1:25 to go. South Eugene with the basketball. Blinky Boyd. Pass left side. Kuiper with it out at the left wing. Out to the top, it's Lucas. Marked by Sydney Montefiore, and she gets caught reaching with 69 seconds to play here in the ballgame.
Roseburg foul number 2, Sydney Montefiore.
1:09 to go, and it'll be free throws again. Every foul here. Roseburg in the double bonus, or Roseburg over the limit, and in the double bonus is South Eugene. So to the line goes Stella Lucas, who's got 3 points. Make it 4 as she rattles through the first. Want to say thanks to Dr. Alanson Randall, one of our many sponsors for Roseburg High Sports. They're accepting new patients. Call them at 541-378-6694. Second free throw doesn't go through. 1 of 2 at the line for Lucas. South Eugene pulled down the rebound, though. They'll get another look at it. Under 60 to play in the ballgame. Lucas hands it off to Lucia Villalobos. Kuiper to the far side for Blinky Boyd. Back to the top, Villalobos to the left side of Lucas. And they're just going to work this ball around the floor in their offense. Letting the clock tick away with no shot clock here in high school hoops in the state of Oregon. Villalobos to the far side. Smiles on the faces of the South Eugene players, knowing that they're killing the clock here as they hope for a win. Nearly a steal there by Sydney Montefiore. South Eugene hangs on to it. Down to 18 seconds to go as we work our way to a final score here tonight. Keep saying tonight. It's still the afternoon. Boys game coming up in just a few. 8 seconds to go. A 21-point lead for South Eugene as they take control of things in the second half after trailing by 3. And there's your final. 49-28. Your final score in this one as Roseburg will fall to 0-2 in conference play, and South Eugene will go to 2-1. We'll come back with the post-game show as South Eugene gets the win on top of Roseburg. We'll wrap it all up for you after a 2-minute break here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Well, we're getting ready for the boys' game coming up next. Both teams out on the court getting warmed up, so we'll have a quick post-game show here. We'll get a word in with Roseburg boys coach Jordan Humphreys coming up in a little bit, but finishing out our girls' game as it is final, 49-28. Recapping the action here, Roseburg led by as many as 5 twice in the first half. They led 18-15 at the break. Roseburg outscoring South Eugene 14-9 in the first period. They were outscored 6-4 in the second period, but they were able to hold off the Axe going into the break, but in the second half, Roseburg held to just 10 points against South Eugene. And South Eugene, meanwhile, exploding for 17 points in the third and in the fourth quarters. 34-10, the advantage for South Eugene in the second half. And that'll put it in the lead there for the South Eugene girls. So 49-28, your final score. We'll come back with individual scoring from this one after a 2-minute break. Don't go anywhere. We got boys action coming up next as well here on 541radio.com and on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
We are Douglas County Farmers Co-op, but we're not just for farmers. We serve all residents of Douglas County because we are Douglas County. Stop by today for everything from a tank of gas to a bite to eat anytime you're hungry. Pick up something for yourself, your home, and those you care for. Celebrating 100 years of service, Douglas County Farmers Co-op. Good people, good products, and good advice.
I am a nurse.
A firefighter.
A college student.
A mother.
And I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready.
For every storm.
And disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors.
My family.
And my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends. How to fit in. How to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
As a doctor, I kept myself safe from COVID by following all the proper protocols. Then I visited my family, and we all got COVID. I debated getting the vaccine since I gained the COVID antibodies. I changed my mind because I learned the antibodies may not offer full protection. But getting the vaccine after COVID can help prevent you from getting sick again. It also lowers your risk of getting someone else sick. So whether you've already had COVID or you're still unvaccinated, please get the vaccine.
Welcome you back here to Roseburg High School. Getting ready for the boys' game coming up here, but we put a final bow on the girls' game as it is South Eugene winning in this one, 49-28. We've got your Mountain Mike's Pizza Player of the game coming up in just a few. Stick around for that here in just a moment. Taking a look at individual scoring from this one, South Eugene led by Sophia Meagert, who hits 6 3-pointers in this one to lead the way for the Axe with 24 points. Behind her in double figures, 14 points for Aaliyah Harris. Those two will help get this South Eugene team pretty far this season. 4 points for Stella Lucas, 4 points for Cara Belinky Boyd, 2 points for Avia Tuglador, and that is 2 points for her there, and then 1 point for Rowan Davis. On the other side for Roseburg, leading the way with 9 points in the game is Amy Carpenter. 4 points for Jocelyn Montefiore and for Michaela Cunningham. 3 points for Emma Murphy. 2 points for Kayla Klopfenstein, Chelsea Miller, Sydney Montefiore, and Emily Morello. And that is your scoring in the girls' game for Roseburg. It's time now to name our Mountain Mike's Pizza Player of the Game for the Roseburg girls. Amy Carpenter having a nice game for Roseburg, but she just got one, so we're going to help spread the love around just a little bit. Emma Murphy is going to be our Mountain Mike's Pizza Player of the Game, hitting a big shot for Roseburg in the second quarter that helped stop a scoreless run of 5 minutes. Her three-pointer in the second quarter ended a 5-minute drought for Roseburg. And so Emma Murphy, is going to be our Mountain Mike's Pizza Player of the Game for her big shot in the third quarter. Would be the only shot that she would make in that quarter and in the game. But it was a big one to help Roseburg keep the lead going into halftime. And so that is the reason we will name her our Mountain Mike's Pizza Player of the Game. Mountain Mike's Pizza, you can find them on West Harvard Avenue in Roseburg, right by the 124 interchange with Interstate 5, and right next to Roseburg High School here in Roseburg off of West Harvard Avenue. Mountain Mike's Pizza donating a $50 gift certificate to the Player of the Game for the Roseburg girls. Coming up, we've got the Roseburg boys game here in just a few minutes. Roseburg boys coming in 3-9 on the season, 0-1 in conference play, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. On the other side, same can be said for South Eugene and head coach Dave Hancock. His team is actually a 4-game losing streak after losing last night against Westview in a non-conference game, 72-45. Both teams looking for their first win in conference play. We'll talk more about that matchup, and we'll get a chance to catch up with head coach Jordan Humphreys coming up here as we get ready for our second game of the day. It's Roseburg boys against South Eugene. We'll take a 2-minute break here in just a moment. For those that are watching online, if you're looking for the boys game, we'll have that for you starting in just a few. We'll end the broadcast of the girls game on our YouTube channel, and we'll start a new one for the the boys game. So just refresh the page and find the boys game coming up live here in just a second. 2-minute break, and we'll come back after this on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.